and guest alone, and not those of Vic Canellis Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Amp2.tv presents You and Your Doctor, teaching you to live a longer and healthier life. Proudly sponsored by All County Healthcare, where people are the heart of our business. All County Healthcare is a Medicare certified agency where one call will service all your home care health needs. For more information, call 954-717-7027 or visit our website, allcountyhealthcare.com. Now, let's get informed to living a longer and healthier life. Here is your host for today's show.
Welcome back to another episode of You and Your Doctor, sponsored by All County Healthcare. We are a certified home health care agency servicing Palm Beach County, Broward, Miami-Dade, and you can reach us at 954-717-7027. I am your host, Louise Gomez. Welcome to the show. And today we have Dr. Miriam Zeiberglatt, and I'm super excited to speak with her. She actually is right here locally in South Florida, and her website is virtualwellbeingmd.com. Reach her directly, and her email is drz@virtualwellbeingmd.com. Welcome to the show, Dr. Zeiberglatt. Are you there?
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for coming to the show. I'm so glad we were finally able to work it out and coordinate this because I know you're busy.
Yes, I'm happily busy, but I'm very happy to be here too.
Thank you so much. And you have so much experience and so many certifications. I don't want to botch it up. So if you can tell our listeners and our viewers about your experience, your education, a little bit more about your background, training, and whatnot. I appreciate that.
Sure. I am originally from Peru, so I am a Latin girl, a Latin doctor, speak perfectly Spanish. And I actually practiced in Peru for 10 years as a physician. I served for the Navy in my country doing geriatrics. I met my husband almost 12 years ago. He was living in Miami, and after backs and forths, we decided to get married, and I decided to move and leave everything in Peru and restart my career as a physician here in this country. So I had to go through the training, etc. And I am board certified in the US as an internal medicine doctor, a geriatrician, and also obesity medicine. So I have these 3 certifications here.
Wow. Congratulations. I know that's a lot. And
Thank you.
Yeah. And so tell our listeners a little bit more about, I know you worked for a traditional type of organization, and maybe if you can kind of give a little background and context as to what you were doing, and then now you kind of transition into something that's more of a personalized medicine, which I find fascinating. Yeah.
So the truth is that when I train in Peru as a geriatrician, and I believe that this happens in general in every country, I repeat the experience here also working at the VA. You learn medicine in a different way, very different than the majority of other specialties. So I have been doing what I want to do today officially in this country for all my life.
Wow.
And my approach is holistic, and that's the holistic approach or comprehensive approach of geriatrics, where we don't see individuals just as livers or kidneys or results of laboratories, but we see them in their context of their real life, their cultures, their emotional and social aspects, and of course their bodies. So when I came to this country and I started to see not only elderly patients as a geriatrician, but I started to see the young group as in internal medicine and in obesity, I was not able to remove from my heart and my way to be a physician this comprehensive approach. So I started to just use it in young people. However, my biggest limitation was the regulations and the norms of the
Mm-hmm.
standardized healthcare system that force you to see patients in 11 minutes or 15 minutes,
Right.
and to try to do a cookie,
Cookie
like
cutter.
the
Cookie
clinical
cutter.
cookie cutter, right? Like
Yeah.
everybody receives the same type of treatment, and that really was very difficult, very challenging for me, because I knew that I could do much better, and my hands were tied. And that's
Mm-hmm.
really part of the reasons why I decided that it was time for me to leave the
Mm-hmm.
healthcare system, the standard healthcare system,
Right.
and to create a system for myself and for my patients that fits their needs and their uniqueness. Because that's how we want to be treated, right?
Yes.
That we are unique, and we deserve to be treated like that.
So, for the type of medicine you do now, what do you find the age range is for the type of patients that you're seeing now?
So I can really, technically, I can see anyone that is above 18 years.
Mm-hmm.
I truly, I'm open to all the colors and all the flavors. However, I have the idea that those that could benefit the most probably are in the range of the 35, 45, 50s, even a little
Mm-hmm.
more, right? And I say so because it's a time where we are financially stable. And I
Mm-hmm.
mention this because my clinic has been forced to be a concierge clinic
Sure.
because insurance will not pay, right? So I
Right.
am I am trying to be realistic. And
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, you have the needs of start taking care of yourself, because you are right now in probably in a job that is stressful. You are already probably in an age where you have already family, kids
Right.
at home, you are married. So where you need more support to be physically and emotionally good
Mm-hmm.
shape, to have well-being, so you can perform appropriately in your personal and professional obligations.
Right. So, walk me through the process. So, let's say I decide, you know what? I'm 50 years old. I'm feeling like I want something more personalized. I'm feeling like my doctor is not really listening to me. So I decide I want to see you. What Walk me through that journey. What is it going to look like for a typical patient? I would love for you to walk us through that because it's kind of unique and most doctors are not doing that. So please share.
So I will have the normal, typical, part of the interaction, where I will be asking you for your past medical history, your family's medical history, medications, allergies, and etc. Right? You will
Yeah.
have to go through the torture of the typical
Right,
part of
right.
the counter.
Sure.
But something extra that I incorporate is the evaluation of emotional social aspects. So for me, every patient has to go through an evaluation of depression, anxiety. I evaluate for burnout, that majority of doctors are not even considering this a problem. And when it's not only very frequent, right? We are in the
Yes.
ranges of 65% in regular population,
Right.
but it's easy to diagnose. There are ways to screening for that, and it has so many consequences if you don't pinpoint it and you don't treat it since the
Mm,
beginning. I am
right.
also evaluating for well-being, because it's also a way to follow patients. I will have enough information to start today and to show you with numbers and with data we are improving, or we are not. We need to change the plan. So as a doctor, I like science, and I like to have
Yeah.
information that I share with you. And I am also evaluating something that is called frailty. That is a parameter that initially was only for elderly patients, but there are studies now where we are using it in 40, 45 years and above, and shows being frail means that your body is in major risk to have medical conditions, to
Hmm.
develop disabilities. It's a term that is the contrary of being robust.
Sure.
or very energetic. And again, that give us information that you may not find yet in the laboratory test,
Mm.
because the laboratory test will show you these red flags when things are already happening. The question is, do we need to wait for things to happen, or can we prevent?
Mm.
The next level truly goes with the tests. And all the tests are sent to your house, so you don't need to go to a laboratory. I use the
Nice.
technology to, you can do only a blood drop or urine or saliva, depending of the test that we are utilizing for your specific goal, because all these will be centered in your goals, in what is important for you. And part of the testing involve nutritional aspects that never are checked in the doctor's office. We
Absolutely.
order only vitamin D sometimes, which majority of doctors are not able to do because insurance will not pay. And we order vitamin B sometimes if kind of you qualify because you're a vegetarian, or
Sure.
you are taking specific medication. If not, we don't even do it. So there are many vitamins and minerals that we can evaluate, and then actually, while we may not have a complete disease, right, a presentation of a complete disease because of the lack of it, but all our body, all the physiology of our body depends on them. So we need to be able to give you, or the amount that you need to function appropriately. And last but not least, I am checking, one is flora of your gut, so I
Mm.
can understand better how to provide you with probiotics. There is a lot of studies where there is a correlation between the gut flora and obesity, diabetes, mental health illnesses. Even now, there are lots of studies about gut flora and Alzheimer's. And the
Yes.
explanation is, if your gut flora is the one that will degrade the food, right, and
Yes.
will convert that in the nutrients that go inside of your body, and your gut flora is not appropriate, so you will not be able to introduce into your body the right nutrients. So what we are doing with this information is we are able to, using DNA technology, to select the 10 more important bacteria that you have in your body, identify if they are positive or negative for you, and to create via precision medicine a capsule with probiotics and prebiotics that are the
Custom
align
blend.
absolutely for
Customly
you.
blended. I love that.
Yes, which is very interesting, because if you ask me today, without having a gut flora testing, to
Sure.
go to the any store, right,
Right.
or go to Amazon and select a probiotic, I am clueless.
Sure.
I don't know what to select for myself. And then the last thing that we are doing, also related to DNA, is DNA. We are testing DNA related to metabolism, diet, and exercise. Why? Because majority of us, we have no idea of how we function and how our body functions. So we can have a lot of information about what food is better for us, how we can
Mm.
exercise, what type of exercise, and etc., and educate patients and empower them, so you have the knowledge to do the right things, not abstractly, but really know it and based on science.
And the reason I love this is like the future of medicine, because the reality is everyone is so different. I was just listening to a podcast, and one of my favorite doctors, Dr. Zach Bush, was saying in the last 10 years there have been more, they've learned more about the gut brain axis than they've
Yeah.
ever known in the past hundreds of years. It's all been known in the last 10 years. And like you were saying, well, we're going to get back to this conversation because we have a commercial break. But when we get back, I want to continue on that gut brain axis conversation. But we'll be right back. Thanks, Dr. Z. Hold on.
Sure.
All County Healthcare has exciting news for any and all patients with COPD or other respiratory ailments. Listen to what renowned pulmonologist Dr. Keith Robinson has to say.
Hello, I'm Dr. Keith Robinson, board-certified pulmonologist, medical director at Fusion Health Pulmonary Rehabilitation, and a board member with the American Lung Association of South Florida. We have exciting news for patients with COPD. We now offer IPV therapy at home, which has been demonstrated to improve airway clearance, decrease hospitalization, and improve quality of life of patients with COPD. Please call All County Healthcare for more information about this FDA-approved therapy.
For further information, call All County Healthcare now at 954-717-7027. That is 954-717-7027, or visit our website at allcountyhealthcare.com. You can also find us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Remember, All County Healthcare always puts the patient's needs first. You are listening to You and Your Doctor, Living Longer and Healthier, an informative show that helps you find answers to questions you always wanted to ask but did not have that somebody that could make a difference in your life. Call into the show if you have a question at 888-565-1470, and we will put you on the air to inform all our listeners. Now, back to our show.
Thanks for tuning back in. We have Dr. Miriam Zeiberglatt, also known as Dr. Z, and she can be reached. Her website actually is www.virtualwellbeingmd.com. All the information is there. Or you can email her, drz@virtualwellbeingmd.com. Thanks for coming back, Dr. Z. We appreciate that.
Thank you for having me again.
Sure. And, I'm fascinated with the gut-brain axis because more and more, as you're saying, all of these tests and studies and research papers and they're realizing how it plays such a, role in our well-being in all facets. So I'm really happy that there are doctors out there like you who actually would take the time to figure out, well, let's do a DNA testing and then let's research what you're missing, what you need, whatever, and then you create a custom blend of probiotics. I mean, that's amazing.
And we are doing exactly the same with the vitamins and minerals. Everything is specific for the patient. And again, I believe that I love medicine and I agree with the use of
Sure.
medication. I
Yes.
appreciate the use of medications.
course.
They are obviously helpful, but they are not all. And our way to practice medicine for many years, if not forever, has been centered on treating diseases
Correct.
and putting band-aids,
Yes.
but not to work on prevention. And this is something that we hear again and again, but we don't see proactively changing, at least not by by the insurances and big corporations. So I felt obligated to start using this new technology. And to be sincere, this is something that I learned when I did my third specialty, obesity medicine.
Right.
If I will not do that, I will not know that this exists and there is science behind this.
Yes.
So I have been very fortunate to be exposed to this, and I believe that we need to keep using what is in front of us and to adapt medicine to the new technology and to the new needs of our clients, our patients. We cannot practice medicine like 20 years ago.
Right. No.
It's incorrect, right? We are failing the promise that we made, like we will take care of patients and we will do
Yes.
our best. We are not doing our best if we are not using our best options and opportunities. Sadly, that is not necessarily what happens in higher levels, and
Sure.
insurances will need to adapt to this. But we need to start pushing for it, and we need to
Yes.
start using it.
Absolutely. I'm like you said, Hippocrates, the father of medicine, he said, let your food be your medicine and your medicine be your food, because really, all the nutrients we get is from our food, and it's so important. And the food nowadays, let's face it, it's more about corporate profits than it is about good quality ingredients. So it's doctors like you who are going to really help to change this paradigm and change the way people view doctors. Maybe I'm not going to run to a doctor when I'm sick. Maybe I'll go now to prevent, which is
And
really.
it's so important because if you think about the cause number one of mortality in the US is cardiovascular disease. Cardiovascular
Right.
disease involves cardiac infarcts,
Sure.
hypertension, right, strokes, etc. And probably diabetes will be related. And all those conditions are, in the majority of the cases, preventable. And the prevention doesn't come necessarily from the use of medication, but actually from good lifestyles,
Yes.
uh, exercise,
Yes.
diet, right, and etc. So, what will happen if we start educating our patients and empower them to know their
Mhm.
bodies, know their pros and their cons, right, and to play with the cards that nature gave them, right,
Yes.
when they came
Yes.
here, and say, okay, I have more risk of diabetes, or I have more
Right.
use of carbs, right? Let's
Right.
fix this before diabetes happen and before I am part of the statistics.
Yes. Now, Dr. Z, you wrote a book. Can you tell us a bit the 3G cycle of life? Can you tell us? We have, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes left, but please share a little bit about your book. I have not had a chance to read it yet, but please share.
The book is a list of interviews on to more than 30 individuals around the world
Okay.
that start from being politicians,
Mm-hmm.
very high levels, to artists and athletes and Buddhist nuns and etc., TED talkers, journalists. And all the stories are about growing after adversity. And I use
Mm.
the paradigm of the 3G cycle that really refers to a life that is not linear but circular, where we
Mm.
start every episode of our life setting a goal, reduce our weight, enhance our quality of
Sure.
life, and
Yeah.
live better, whatever it is, write a book. We go with the second G, that is grit, that is this fuel inside of us, this energy, the purpose, the motivation that keep us going, and
Right.
ends with the G of grow. All the things that we learn, doesn't matter if the journey was happy or not, easy or
Right.
not, right? If we achieve or not the goal. But if we have our eyes open and if we have our mindset in the correct place, we will be able to use even adversity in our favor, and we will be wiser at the end of this cycle and ready to start a next one. And that's the story about the book, and that's the magic of the 3G cycle.
That's beautiful. So
Thank you.
yeah, I'm looking forward to reading that. So that can be found on Amazon, right? I'm guessing.
Yes, in
Okay.
Amazon, and in the next few weeks, probably we will have the version in Spanish for those that are
Oh,
Latin like
nice.
me. So, yes.
Nice. So, you know, can you leave us with some everybody wants a hack. We got 1 minute left. If there's a couple of things that you could tell our audience in 1 minute, what would be some good advice to leave everybody with a, a way to enhance and improve our lifestyle or our health?
I will use something that I didn't say. Actually, it was said to me by my kid when he was 7 years old. I was going through a difficult time in life, and he told me something that actually is part of my book. He told me, Mommy, this is your life, this is your choice, this is your journey. And I believe that is the best advice that I
Wow.
received ever.
Wow.
Because truly, this is our life, and we need to be accountable for the decisions that we take. And
Mm-hmm.
we need to be empowered to live it to the maximum. And we are responsible of the good things and bad things that happen to us. We are not victims.
Yes.
We are the owners of our bodies. And I
Mm-hmm.
believe that if we don't have health, we don't have anything else. So we need to start prioritizing our own well-being so we can achieve all the extra goals and the success that we are dreaming with.
Wow, what a wise son you have at 7 years old. He just knew. I mean, that's beautiful. Great piece of advice.
And
Thank
they will find a lot of these type of stories in the book. There are many stories
Nice.
of my kids. Yes, I learn from my kids. I am
Yes.
blessed to say so.
They are our teachers. Yes, they are. Dr.
They
Z, it
are.
was such a pleasure connecting with you today. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. And we appreciate you and changing the way medicine looks like. So thank you.
Thank you, and I appreciate what you are doing because you are helping the community to understand that there are other options and that they
Yes.
have the power to select, that healthcare is really a right that everybody should have, and that is important to advocate for themselves and for their health.
Thank you so much, Dr. Z. We appreciate you. Take care.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day. Bye.
Thank you for letting us share with you a longer and healthier lifestyle. If you have a doctor or are a doctor and wish to be on the show, call M2TV at 866 244